As Travel Television wraps up our third year of production, we present to our audience this month one of our favorite stories about volunteerism in New Orleans. Looking at either small organizations or large, everyone giving their time to help rebuild felt something universal, a sense that helping had changed their lives forever.
In August of 2005, the natural disaster known as Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast. The storm ravaged Louisiana and destroyed much of New Orleans before dispersing, leaving over 1,500 dead and countless homes demolished. It has now been over 3 years since the hurricane made landfall, and though the cleanup effort continues, the work of restoring Louisiana is far from over. But in the Ninth Ward, there are still people willing to sacrifice their time and energy to make a difference. This is David Smith Sr., an activist in the community and longtime volunteer. David is no stranger to sacrificing his time for the good of others.
I was a volunteer here in St. Bernard Parish for the past 24 years after I was paralyzed in a car accident. As you can see, this is what's left of my home after Katrina. I didn't think I'd ever see my home rebuilt again. I spent the past 2 years living in a FEMA trailer, waiting to die in a FEMA trailer.
Now, 3 years since the vicious storm, this veteran volunteer is getting the help he so richly deserves.
I'm Ashley Ramos.
I'm Emily Wasserman.
And we are here with the Sid Jacobson JCC program.
We're helping to build sets, reconstruct the homes after Hurricane Katrina hit over 2 years ago. And we gave up our December vacation because we thought that there's nothing else I could think of that is more rewarding than doing something like this. And it's just so unbelievable to see personally the faces and of these people after their homes have been destroyed, and they've all stayed so positive about it. And it's really humbling, the whole experience.
Everything here was once amazing, and now it's been ruined, and I'd like to get it back to the way it was. And I'm willing to sacrifice my vacation, anything it takes to get this done.
It's kind of sad that all these homes were once like any other homes, and now they, just because of a hurricane, they got ruined and they had to start from scratch. And we're here to help them.
We saw a lot of the destruction, and it was really devastating to see what had actually happened. And it was like a big accomplishment to figure out that we finished this, and that there's more of a chance that somebody might move back.
For me, this was much more, as a Catholic, what Christmas is to me is to practice giving instead of receiving, and this is a perfect thing for me. I came out here to give instead of staying home and receiving a bunch of gifts, and that's practically what I'm trying, because I've been pretty spoiled up to this point, and just when I heard about New Orleans, I felt like this would be a great idea to do that, and help others.
My Christmas present, that the only thing I got for Christmas this year is a whole group of volunteers. I walked outside my front door and I seen a rainbow from the beginning to the end, and 20 minutes later I found out I was going to have some 16 volunteers helping me today. If there were more people like this in America that would volunteer their time to help put people back in their homes, thanks would be immense. And if you ever needed us, I'm pretty sure most of us would pack up our things and come to you. So I would like to see a permanent facility built where they have to put in 35 hours of community service and actual accountability. That way the state has something to grasp onto, so they could fund this and make this really happen. And they put in their hours in their community service, they'll have a fed meal and a free place to stay.
I just want to thank you volunteers for everything y'all have done. This storm has been where we have seen some of the best in America and some of the most scummiest people in the world that have come here for some of their own self-gain. But to see these young people that are here to do something, not to fill their pockets, is truly amazing. A lot of the people here that are doing this work are doing it genuinely from their heart and genuinely trying to improve our lives.
Hi, I'm Susan Wayman. I live down here, and my wonderful cousins and cousin-to-be came down from Michigan to help New Orleans. They wanted to work down here, so we said, hey, let's come here to the lower 9th Ward, and we've just had a wonderful time today.
We're helping to build a kitchen for the community center.
It's kind of amazing that some of the people even working here from they live down the block, and they're putting their time in to build something that's going to help everybody.
I think that I'm most impressed with the community effort and how people are coming from all over the country. We've met people from Baltimore and Albuquerque, and we're from Michigan, so this whole situation is a little bit removed for us. It wasn't until we got down here that we realized how important it is to volunteer and to put forth an effort to improve things.
I think what I was most struck by was how much devastation remains driving down the streets, how many dark houses there are, and that 3 years on, there's still a lot that needs to be done.
Everyone in New Orleans appreciates everyone who comes down, not only the work, but to be able to come back and then tell the story, the true story of what's really going on here and how wonderful people are. We're picking ourselves up by our bootstraps with the help of volunteers, and we're doing it, and there are a lot of wonderful stories down here, and we're working together, and we'd love to tell you all about it.
The September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance is the culmination of a 7-year effort started by 9/11 family members and support groups to establish the Service Day as a way to honor the victims and heroes, and to rekindle the spirit of unity and compassion that followed the attacks. September 11th was officially recognized as a National Day of Service and Remembrance by the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act, passed with strong bipartisan support and signed into law by President Obama in April 2009. The first officially designated September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance was marked by service projects in all 50 states, with tens of thousands of volunteers turning out to paint and refurbish homes, run food drives, spruce up schools, reclaim neighborhoods, and support and honor veterans and first responders.
Today is September 11th, 2009, and it's the Day of Remembrance and Service for September 11th, and we're at the VA hospital in Washington, D.C., doing a number of service projects here on the campus, and I am partnering with Serve DC, which is the city's organization that coordinates service projects, and with my own personal group, which is One Columbia Service Projects. I've been traveling the country for the last 2 years, and I'm finally now coming back home. I just got in tonight and have been planning to work on this service project back home here in DC. We pulled together groups of people, gay and straight people around the city, to connect with the greater DC community through service. It's a way that we can reconnect with the place that we've been here for so long. And today our group today did some planting to beautify the facilities here at the VA hospital. There's a bunch of other projects. I know that some other folks are putting together care packages for some of the veterans that are here. And in addition to beautifying the place, doing some cleanup inside as well. Interestingly, after I'm actually unemployed technically, I'm on unemployment, and so instead of sitting around my house being depressed about it, I'm spending my time doing volunteering. So in addition to this project, I've been putting together my own project here in DC, and trying to use my time wisely, and it keeps me motivated, and maybe connect to other people that possibly get a job down the road. And I've been encouraging a lot of my friends who are unemployed. Some of them are right out of college. Some of them were laid off. A lot of people worked on a lot of the campaigns of 2008, and I think it's incredibly important for personal self-fulfillment, to kind of keep you busy, especially if you don't have much to do, and it connects you with a community that you live amongst but maybe don't get a chance to interact with, especially for my friends who are employed and work all the time and don't ever connect to anyone else in town. I think it's a great way for them to do that, and especially in an economy and in a situation right now where a lot of people aren't doing so well. I think helping out in any way we can is a great way to give back.
Hey, hi, I'm Betsy Brown, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is the first time that I've been in New Orleans, and I read an article in August after the second anniversary of Katrina, and I was really dismayed to read about how little had been done down here, and thought that was terrible. And so my family and I decided to come down for our holiday break and try to help. So we contacted lots of different organizations, but my 12-year-old daughter, Rebecca, a lot of the organizations wouldn't have her help because she wasn't old enough. So I finally found Lean on Me through the internet. And so we came down to rebuild houses, paint, and do whatever we can. I found New Orleans to be amazingly in need of people's help still. There's a lot of boarded up buildings, and you can see the devastation. It's everywhere. Now, to be fair, I need to say I've never been here before, so I'm really not sure what it looked like pre-Katrina. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and I do really believe that everybody who has the ability to help should try to come and help. I mean, there's every individual effort is always worth something in my mind. So just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to put back the world when bad things happen, I think. So I think it's really important for people who would otherwise go on vacations and be spending their money to do indulgent things that they've probably done many, many times before, play tennis and golf and lie on the beach, and to take a week out of their life to actually do something for somebody else. Many of us are so fortunate, and it's really important to remember and care about people who don't always have the opportunity that we do. So I thought this was a great family vacation for our family for this week, and a real opportunity for our kids to learn a lot too, to really think about others and to have fun doing it. It's a lot of fun.
What started out as a single trip to the Gulf Coast by a group of church volunteers planning to work 8 days has evolved into the organization known as 8 Days of Hope. This group has recruited over 6,000 volunteers who have traveled to the Gulf 6 times to repair and rebuild over 900 homes. Their last day of work on a Bay St. Louis home is captured by the Travel Television crew.
I'm Pam Spencer, and my husband and I moved here in 2000, and I worked in Lucedale, Mississippi, and my husband decided we were going to stay for the storm, so we boarded up the windows and stayed. And make a long story short, it's just unbelievable the hope that 8 Days of Hope have brought down here. It just looks so much different just in a year. It's just unbelievable, the happy faces and just the mental well-being of everyone.
We would have had this done if we had two shifts. Stream Home Makeover has 3.
Before the hurricane, I was living in an apartment complex, and of course we had to leave when the hurricane came. After the hurricane, I was with some friends, and I went to see, and I couldn't go back there because it was destroyed. But anyway, to stay there, and the trailer came, and I'm still in the trailer, as a matter of fact. But I was going to get an apartment, and my pastor told me no. He said, try to build. And so that led me to purchase this piece of property, and I wasn't sure how I was going to build, and I went through Habitat, I think like 3 times. They denied me all 3 times. So I said, well, I'm not going to worry about it because God has a better plan for me. And so this is the plan. I signed up with the St. Rose Outreach and Recovery, and thankfully they were able to help me to build here, and wasn't sure, I guess who or how, but then the 8 Days of Hope came back, and I was on the list to finish my home. My name is Sherry Hill, and I am the recipient of help from the 8 Days of Hope, Father Sebastian in the St. Rose Outreach and Recovery Program. And these people have done amazing, amazing work on my home, and I'm so happy that they came.
Hi, my name is Eric Anderson. I am from the suburb of Indianapolis, Indiana. And I think the thing that I'll take away from this the most will be just the fact that, to see it on TV and to see the Katrina and the aftermath of it, and to be down here and to see it firsthand is really quite an amazing experience. And just the fact that there's still stuff like this that needs to be done. I think what I'll take the most is just the feeling of getting something done and making a difference. That's what I enjoy the most, and that's what I'll take back.
They talked about how they put in the sweat equity, so 350 hours they're out here, right alongside everybody else, working to make things better. And it's kind of they're kind of planting their own tree, I suppose maybe not now, maybe not 5 years from now, but about in 20 years we're giving these people a fresh start, and I think the next generation will just use that. They'll be entrepreneurs, leaders in the area. They've really got that footstep now.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
Hi, I'm Mark Brown. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're down in New Orleans, Louisiana for our Christmas, New Year's holiday. And we decided to come down this year. We've never done anything like this before because we felt like we had spent enough vacations on the beach and doing something for other people, and also getting a first-hand awareness of what it's really like to suffer tragedy and struggle and strife was very appealing. It's a good time for my kids because they're 12 and 16 now, so they can really do a lot of different things. We spent the last couple of days working on a house, helping to rebuild a house, doing tiling and cabinetry. We have no skills, so to speak, and we were able to help out there. And today we're doing some yard work, grass, weeds, weed whacking, tree cutting, stuff like that. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's a great way to spend time. It's good for the family, it's good for the region, and it'll make you feel good. I'm going to do it again.
I came to New Orleans because when it first happened, I really wanted to do something and I didn't have the chance. And the opportunity came up with DCJCC and Barron Builders to actually do something that was more of starting the process with the demolition, and felt like giving back to the community in a way that I could. This experience has taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about how much environment has to play on certain things, as well as how much a person can lose and not realize it right away. It's a whole meaningful experience. It's more than words can really say. Yeah, DCJCC put in a lot of effort to get this started, and I hope that they make another trip, because I would definitely go and do it again and come back down if they were to start it again. They're hardworking people. It's been a really good experience to be with all of them. I've learned a lot about different type of people, and it's helped me grow in terms of understanding and knowledge about people, and it's been a great experience. It's something I want to do again.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
My name is Sean Spaventa. I'm a staff member at Drew University in New Jersey.
And I'm Kevin O'Connell. I'm also a staff member. I work at Centenary College, and this is our third year teaming up together, bringing down close to 65 students this year. And in years past, Sean, how many have?
We've had, last year was 120, and the year before that about 120 as well. This is our first year with Habitat. Previous 2 years we were with working with the UMCOR, United Methodist Committee on Relief.
This year we have a little bit more of a focus. Obviously now is it's more of a rebuilding period rather than I guess you could say, demolition, what we did the last few years. So we're kind of focusing more on the experiences of the students that came down here, and really getting them a chance to kind of realize what we're doing and how important it is down here.
We've broken them up into teams of about 10 to have some after-work participation, where they're going to be able to share some thoughts and some of their experiences throughout the day. And we've given them a journal. They can write their thoughts and stuff down, and something to look back at later.
We might have about 30-40 students less this year, but I think in the last few years we had a lot of upperclassmen, and so we had a lot of upperclassmen graduate, but this year's a totally different dynamic of students, a lot of new students, freshmen, and we do have some returning students. So I think overall we are recruiting new students, and I think that will continue on that tradition for years to come. And I think between Centenary College and Drew University, I think we've dedicated the next 5-10 years or so that we're going to put something together and bring students and staff and faculty down here.
This experience this year compared to our past, we spent the last 2 years gutting houses for the most part. I would say 80 to 90% of our work the last 2 years has been gutting houses. So this is the first year we're actually on a full rebuild situation. Everyone that's going to be down here will be doing some form of rebuild, either here at Habitat or with the St. Bernard Project.
Great. All right. Thank you a lot.
Working through the D.C. Baptist Convention, Reverend Fred Herring facilitated Fort Hood's work in New Orleans with Noah Rebuild.
I went to work with the people that are located in Noah headquarters down here. And when I contacted them, I told them I needed an African-American church that all people could work with while they're down there. In return, they located the church, Reverend Edward Scott, at the Christian Fellowship Baptist Church. And that is the church, one of the churches they're working with right now. And that came about because Reverend Lyle showed an interest in coming down here not only to work with African-American church, but work with other churches too. But one of the things we want to make sure of doing is that we did work with people who are located in Ward 9.
The church in the lower 9th Ward is headed by the Reverend E.B. Scott, Jr. The mission group is also in St. Bernard's Parish hanging sheetrock at Hopeview Baptist.
The city of New Orleans said in order to collect the black bags, we can't have it on private property. So we have to put it out on the curb, and then they're gonna come back out and pick it up. We gotta move the black bags out there so they'll be able to discard it.
And in East New Orleans, they're moving trash and putting up new walls at Lake Forest Baptist.
The importance of this whole trip is to understand from the beginning that our work is not really just come in an area and just work. The importance of the trip is that we evangelize people and bring people to Jesus Christ.
Reverend Herring says they want to encourage other churches, especially African-American congregations, to become involved in New Orleans and other areas devastated by Katrina.
I've seen a number of young people. Fort Hood has 5 or 6 young people here, and some of the other churches have a number too. Do you see any particular significance to the fact that a lot of young people are supporting this project?
Yes, I do, because one of the things that we truly can say in Fort Hood Baptist Church is our goal is to lead the young people to Jesus Christ and help them also go out and lead other young people to Christ.
The younger members of Fort Hood include Channing Nash, soon heading off to college, Morris Hall Jr., Lewis King Jr., and Ron Langley Jr.
I think that we should share with others who don't have as much, and come down here and seeing homes just wiped away just blew my mind. It was really upsetting. I mean, it was just pretty sad. Like, you can see the steps, but there was no home, and I just felt that is something we need to do.
You really need to know what you have, because a lot of what I've seen so far is really devastating, and I'm just thankful that I have a home to go to every night. I have running water. I can take a shower, go to the bathroom when I want to, where I want to. Just be grateful for what you have.
Anything that has touched you emotionally that you've seen so far?
I mean, well, yes, because today
before we even got started, a lady asked us to pray for her. Yes. And pray for her and this guy named Frank because his power is out and he's on a respirator. Yes. So that really touched me this morning.
Kind of take stuff for granted where we live. Where, as a matter of fact, right before we came, 4 feet of water flooded my basement. And we were struggling because it was mold, and it was like, when I got here, 4 feet is nothing compared to my whole house being gone, so it was something serious.
A youth minister at Hyattsville's Emmanuel Covenant Church, Kwesi Williams is encouraged by the number of young people here to work.
I think it's significant because it shows that they're compassionate, and what we see and what we experience, especially being from the D.C. area, is we see a portrait of young people that don't care. That don't care about humanity, that don't care about other people, that don't care about their neighbors. But when you come down here and you see all of the young people that have come, you recognize that they care, and you recognize that there is an influence in their life that makes the difference.
The Toolies, as they're known at Central United Methodist Church in Traverse City, Michigan, have learned a few things about doing relief work and rebuilding in the U.S. and other countries.
And this is pretty heavy duty. We have a smaller air compressor that we use with smaller nail guns.
They know if you don't have the right gear, the work slows down. So the church bought a trailer and filled it with supplies. It's not just for the Toolies, it's for anyone doing construction projects for victims of disasters or people in need.
We intended this as a trailer that would be available to any church organization or civic organization.
6 Toolies maintain the trailer and loan it out for free.
We don't put limits on it, but we just want to feel that we're wearing the tires off this thing, and we don't want it rusting out sitting in a parking lot somewhere.
Recently, another church took the trailer to Iowa, rebuilding flood-damaged homes. The trailer was on location most of summer 2008 at a Habitat for Humanity site.
It makes a big difference. It's probably twice as quick to do things.
The trailer and equipment are a $5,000 investment, but the Toolies don't worry about others using it.
We trust them. They're working on a great cause, and that's a real rewarding feeling, knowing that you're making a difference in people's lives. It's like we're putting our blessing on the project by saying, here, you have all this equipment, do your best.